The real problem with dating, the real problem with connection, the real problem with opening your heart to another is social media. And not just social media as a whole, it is what happens when you leave your date, when you feel like you have been wronged, when you feel like you have not met your match, when you feel like there's nothing but piss in a dating pot. What do? You look for community to express how you're actually feeling. You look for community to hold you in sacred space, to give you advice, to give you wisdom. And yet you discover that social media is not the space for that. Let's take a moment. What I find to be a big issue here across social media and across all social media platforms, especially with people like us, people that are actively dating, is that we don't take the moment to integrate what we just experienced. We're so used to operating out of our ego that we just assign people characters. If someone is not in alignment with us, then we assign them as evil or there's piss in a dating pot when you're missing the wisdom. So often do I see people go on dates and they come online immediately after a date and talk about their experience. And it's not the best display of what they've actually experienced. And what I recognize is there's a lack of integration. You see, dating is an intelligence, it's a wisdom, it is a curriculum. And when you don't take time to really integrate what you experience, your ego turns on. And so you'll get online and say, I've been wronged because the person I met should have been my person. I don't want to go 50-50. How did I meet somebody who wants to go 50-50? You start to meet the very thing that you do not want. And so then you judge it. You get on social media and you start to talk about how bad women are, how bad men are, how nobody wants to date out of these ethical values when really those are just your values. When really what the universe is doing is give you an opportunity to really clarify if that's what you actually want. And so the problem is this public display, this humiliation campaign that is existent around the spectrum of dating. Because there's so much currency in exposing someone. There's so much currency in having a story. There's so much currency in being a part of the narrative that dating actually sucked, that people do not integrate. They don't sit down with themselves. They don't ask questions. They don't really reach out to their community. Their community is social media. Now, I'm not saying that all of social media is bad, but what I am saying is, what is your internal world saying to you? Before you get on social media, are you journaling? Are you actually asking yourself questions that make sense to you? See, so many of us want this perfect person, and yet we're missing the fact that this is all a lesson. This is all a curriculum. You're not just going to meet your ideal man or woman tomorrow. You can, but it requires internal work. So dating and going out on dates and then coming on social media to give a performance review is actually opposite of the work that you should be doing. You should be sitting with self and integrating that lesson. What did this person present to me? How did they feel in how did I feel in their energy? Did I feel safe? Are they curious? Do they have family members? Like, we have to start looking a little bit deeper. We have to start sitting with ourselves after the date a little bit deeper, because sometimes we're only looking at things from a physical standpoint. And if somebody's not hitting all of those marks, you don't see them as a soul being. So your lack of integration is preventing you from seeing the person that you actually are probably supposed to be with or supposed to learn from. It's just what I've been seeing. And so I understand, because the data shows. And so I understand why this happens, right? Because so many of us have been in isolation that we feel like we're required to be with someone. It is our time to be with someone. And so when God sends you someone that is not quote unquote ideal, you get upset. And what you're telling God is, I'm not interested in the curriculum. I'm interested in what I want and what I want only. But you don't have enough information, my love. I'm here today to say that we have to stop bashing people. We have to give ourselves a moment to breathe after these experiences. I am not perfect. I had to learn this as well, too. Like, when I went on the most recent date, before I went on the date, Spirit told me, like, oh, this would be a clarifying moment for you. I listened, right? I was just like, why do I keep hearing that this is a clarifying moment for me? After the date, I fully understood what that clarifying moment was for me. It is because I went into the date with clarity, asking clarity questions, just kind of listening, asking questions too about spirituality that I probably wouldn't ask, in the past, because of how people have shamed me about asking those questions. But just kind of being transparent and understanding that that date was a clarity date, leaving it, I gained the wisdom. And so now the way I see the world, the way I see men is actually very different. I'm in a very unbiased place. I say all this to say that we want cohesion, we want teamwork, we want family, we want to bring children into this world. And it's really difficult to do that if we are not integrating the wisdom. You are getting this nuggets to teach to your children if you decide to have them. You are getting this information to teach to somebody else who may be going through a similar experience. We have to stop labeling our dating and our interactions as negative and good. We have to just label them as intake. You understand? Like it's all about clarity. See, decisions and clarity are not monolithic. It's not an energy that stops. Decisions are ongoing, and clarity is ongoing as well too. That's why you have to date continuously. Some do, some don't. But I believe the more you date, the more clarity you gain. We see this when people get into a marriage very early, and then they recognize that, hey, my soul is open to something else. I've gained clarity somewhere else. Right? It's the integration that we have to do after dating, after experiences. Sit with ourselves, write in our journal, go through our notes, see what we could not see on the date. Ask ourselves questions. We have to get deeper into the internal intelligence. That is the new way of dating, right? It's using your gifts. It's being in co-creation with your spiritual team, with your ancestors. There are people that actually love you on the other side. Talk to them. They can let you know if that person is good for you or not. But not everybody is inherently bad for you. They're not. Some people are on your path to turn you into the husband you want to be, to turn you into the wife you want to be. You may not like the way that they do it, but you may be unaware that you have wounds that need to be addressed. And as such, because you're on the pathway to marriage, Spirit will send you somebody in and say, hey, they're struggling with vulnerability. Let me send somebody in who can completely shatter them, right? Not in the way where you're distraught, but they have your codes. You have a 6-panel access code. You have 3 codes. They have the other 3 codes. And they get in and they access your vulnerability. Not in a way that it destroys you, but in a way where you feel empowered you feel empowered to be vulnerable. That's not destruction. That's wisdom. That's a part of your curriculum. I had to learn the same thing. I had to get every man that I was meeting had activations to my nurturing codes. They could get in very easily and manipulate me through my nurturing, but was it manipulation or did I allow it? I allowed it. And what did I learn? That nurturing and caring energy is sacred and not everybody deserves that. It is a healing energy, right? And there's other things. The same thing with wisdom, the same thing with being able to help when someone calls you, right? This is about us taking a moment to just sit in stillness before we get on the internet and create a PR campaign. But what you also don't realize is when you're opening up this app and you begin to critique someone about how they showed up to you in dating, you're also being critiqued as well. Remember that. So if it's not coming from a place of teaching, but it's coming from a place of dominance, from a place of ego, from a place of arrogance where you believe you deserve to meet someone that is ideal, then you're missing the whole purpose of being here on earth. Everything is wisdom. Everything is knowledge. Nothing is meant to be thrown away. It is meant to be integrated. Now, you throw it away if you no longer require it. But on this dating path, especially for a lot of us as we are resurrecting this new version of ourselves, a lot of us are rediscovering who we are socially, who we are in terms of dating relationships. What we once desired has shifted tremendously. And the only way to really discover what that is through integration. You cannot fully know or understand who a being is upon one date. Give yourself an opportunity to understand the story, but also sit with yourself. No more running to social media, y'all. Like, that's not helpful. It just creates a perpetual negative feedback loop. And so what you're doing is you're locking yourself into an affirmation. Dating is shit. Dating has piss in it. So as a result, the universe is going to ping off your signal and it's going to say, well, let's send him and her all shitty dating experiences so that you can continue to learn until you meet somebody who open you up to possibilities. And then you say, oh, wait, I've never had this before. Wow, that feels good. And then the universe pings off your signal and say, well, let's give them more possibilities. Let's see how they interact. Let's see how they interact there. Let's give them more possibilities. Does this make sense? I want this to land with you all because I can see how detrimental it is to run to social media to give an evaluation or to give a performance review when that's not quite needed. Sit with yourself, my love, and you will get all the answers you desire and you require. Be well.